Okay, today I'm going to scan some. Let's look at this. It looks like some Ilford HP5 Plus film, very old. Uh, the negatives, and certainly just random stuff when I first started shooting when I was really young, long time ago. So I'm using a Silverfast 9, and I'm going to use a Nikon scanner, the LS5000. So let's just start and see what comes up with. I'm also going to try to attempt to use Lightroom, and I have it set up to automatically sync photos when I am scanning. So for now, let's just see what I can come up with. Put this right over here. Let's give it a go. So I have it set up. It remembers what I had last time, so we'll kind of see this. There's a lot of stuff in here, and I got it set for JPEG, and I got it set for, let's see right here, 2,000 pixels per inch, which is, it can go a lot higher. It goes up to, I think, 4,000 pixels per inch. But, let's just see what we got here. And I could wipe them down, but I'm not going to. Let's just see what they look like without Lightroom now. So I'm going to launch this right here into my scanner, which is actually sitting quite low. I have a stand-up desk. So let's see. Let's go to, I believe it's, trying to remember it now. Overview. So it could go overview. Let's see what we have here. And so once you hit overview, it kind of does a scanning of the strip that you have in there. So now it's scanning this strip, and I'm going to see what we got. Okay, so now you can see the negatives are not in the right place, so I'm going to move them over to the correct alignment, and then hopefully this will transfer into having a better image. So doing this takes a little bit of time, but in the end, obviously you're going to get something better. And my negative film holder that I have, actually I filed it so that for the scanner, so that you actually get a little bit of the black line. It doesn't always work perfectly. I'm sure I could make it a little better. I have another one too. I have a 4000 scanner that I need to fix. So let's just see what we get here. These are, I think some of these might even just be shot out of the car. Like I was taking pictures right out of the window. So it's back in the day. Let's see what we happen. So I'm going to go, I believe it's add selection, brings them up here. I probably could have just said okay, but I'm trying to remember exactly the fastest way to do this. I think it's giving a pre-scan, which I think I probably could have selected okay and then hit the batch scan up here. That's the fastest way. So this is a little slower, the way I did it right now, but we'll see what happens. What you can do is you can pre-scan everything ahead of time. So see, there's definitely dirt on here, but I'm not going to even worry about it. Let's just try batch scan right now. Or no, actually right here. Let's hit this one. And now I'm going to have this go to right here. I'm not going to even put it in another folder. It's going into a 35mm scans folder. And what will happen is, in Lightroom, it will start to import it into this imported folder. It's watching the folder, and so we'll start to get some of these coming in here, which is kind of cool. It comes in pretty fast too. This, what is this? The Silverfast 9 scans pretty fast. So now it's probably, it should start being imported soon if everything's working correctly. Let me see. This is auto import, enable auto import. Let's see if that works now. Otherwise I'll have to close it down and bring it back in. Let's go back over here and see where we're at. Okay, so we already got something that popped into Lightroom. So I'm going to click on that. There we go. Now what I can do with this is I can fix them up then here and at the end. So that would, and here's the next scan, very dirty. I could probably work on trying to clean it up a little bit before I scan it. A quick wipe. But we're going to be able to fix them up then too. So tone curve is actually very helpful. Let's see all the other things I have in here. Transform I don't use as much, but I can use that. Lens correction, definitely not. Detail, maybe. But the biggest things when I'm first working at them is this basic setting and then the tone curve. So doing it this way, I have a big picture to work with real fast. In fact, I'm just going to put this right there like that. This is pretty old stuff though. I'm going to say this is, wow, these negatives right now, I'm going to say they're old. Well, right there you can see it. I think it says $1.18 for gas. I'm going to guess this is mid-90s. Roughly later 90s. And this is, I think, in Pennsylvania. That's where I used to live, so. Let's look and see. That's all of them. There you go, that's the last one. We had a lot of fun. So now let's come over here and let's work with the next one. So I'm going to come over here and hit eject. And this next one, I'm going to try to just put it in there without actually getting the preview. So I have to remember how to do that, if there's a way to do that or not. I'm not sure if there is or is not. Give that just a little moment. It needs just a moment in between film strips. Okay, so now I'm going to go overview again. And again, we need to move it all in the right direction. There is a function on here, and I use it, it's actually pretty good, where it finds the frames automatically, but it does take a little longer to process the images, and it's not always accurate, but it actually does do a pretty good job. So if you don't want to mess with it, you know, post-processing, you want to just kind of get it as close as you can, you could actually just preview all the pictures and then try to get the scan correct or pretty close in the actual scanner. Okay, let's see, that's pretty dark. Let's see if it gets it or not. We're going to go, this time I'm going to try selecting OK. And I think it's just going to scan all of them. Oh, I know what to do. I think it's still going to pre-scan it. And I don't think it's going to have everything in there. Okay, so I think I know what to do. So the fastest way, I think you just put it in there and hit batch scan. It doesn't always get exactly the right results, but so let's hit batch scan. Let's just see what happens here. It's trying to make it a little bit faster. Let's see if that works. So it says it found 6 of them, which is good. And now let's see what we get here. We can go back into the library and we can see what pictures we already have. Whoop. These are the pictures here, and I could actually just do a really fast job of making them darker and lighter right from here. So you can do that just going with exposure. That's probably even the fastest way. But this is the new photo that just came in. Oh, here's another image. This one's actually a pretty cool shot. This is definitely from the car. This is, I'm going to say, let's see. This is now 2022. And this is, I'm going to say this is a good 25 years old, these negatives. Maybe more. And so let's just say we went like this. What I would do is probably bring it down exposure-wise, bring up the contrast a little bit, you know, and then all these pieces, I could try to go like, you know, bump it out like that. Wow, that's a cool shot actually. Lots of dirt on the negative. So the next strip, what I'll probably try to do is see if I can simply, you know, clean the negative and see if it has difference. But in order to really know how well it would be done, so I have some different microfiber cloths. You know, I can use, like, here's one. I have another one here too. And I also have a nice brush too, a negative brush I can use to try to get rid of it. So I think I know the faster way. When you're in here, it's not to even do the overview. I think it's just you put it in there and hit the batch scan, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get as accurate results. But let's go eject here, this one. And maybe what I'll do is I'll do another roll where I preview all the photos. You know, just give you an idea. So this one, what I'll do then, experimenting here, because I have so many negatives, my goal would be to, well, I mean, if I had a lot of time, which, you know, I don't have as much time, but if I had a lot of time, I'd probably just preview every single one and just get the best things. But if I'm kind of just more or less archiving everything, then I'm just going to kind of go with a very fast process like this. So I put that in there. It's definitely fed, and I'm going to go batch scan this time and just go export, and let's just see what happens this way. This is a lot faster to do it this way. So now it's kind of bringing in the negatives, and it's going to hopefully get 6 pictures right there that it recognizes. Okay, so it says 5 it found. So that's the problem when you do it this way. Sometimes it doesn't find the last one. I don't know why. So then what I can do is, sometimes what the problem is, it's because when it was developed, if the negatives are not clean at the top, there's like any kind of like little mark there, the scanner can't figure that out. So now I'm just canceling everyone, because basically what's the problem is that there's another image and it doesn't know it's there. So probably what I'll do is see if we can find it in the overview. So I'm going to refresh it, the overview, and see if it can find 6 images. Sometimes because of, and I'm not sure the proper term, but where the little holes are and the little sprockets right there at the top, probably can't see it here because it's sometimes it's not developed very well where it's perfectly. So let's see, we did find 6 here on the overview. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to manually set it so it's in the right place. And these I wiped so with the fiber micro cloths there. So we'll see if there's any difference there on the dirt. I'm not sure. Let's see there. Okay, let's now hit OK. This setting right here where it says ISO ASA monochrome is basically like the, well, right here it's kind of like the curves here. So I have it set for a very low flat setting. So you can do a setting that's a lot more contrast. So right here, this is pretty overexposed. So I could change the exposure right here, but hopefully I can kind of address this in Lightroom. We'll see. Now let's I think I need to, okay. Well, let's just see if we can batch scan this now. And if I'm not getting the right results, then I can always change the exposure right there. Let's see what Lightroom comes up with. Ooh, that's a cool shot. Okay. Dust wise, well, there's definitely some scratches and dust on there. Not too bad. Okay. That's a pretty cool shot. That's the antenna too. Dust, I don't know if there might be a little bit of a improvement with the dust. Yeah. Just curious to see where that comes from. Just looking, it's got a lot of junk on the negatives, but you know. Philadelphia and Reading Avenue. I don't know, just random shots. Trying to. Okay, so that's trying to do probably a little street photography right from the car. But you know. Anyway, let's eject this one and let's see what this next one is. Yeah, so looking at this one, exactly what the problem was, I don't know if you can see it. It's hard to really see it, but there's a problem with the development. You can kind of see it a little bit. See that dark area right there? That's what the negative's sometimes not able to see. And that's an issue usually when you're loading the film onto the reel, where it's, or actually, you know what? That almost could be a light leak, I think. A light leak in the camera, or when loading it, possibly. Yeah, just looking at the negatives. Maybe some of you guys can tell me in the comments what you think that is from when the holes on the sprockets. It was a dark color. It wasn't like, I know sometimes that happens when it's like a foggy color when the film is touching itself, but that's some form of a light leak somewhere. Okay, let's go like this. Let's see if I hit batch scan, if it will find 6 right down here. So that's what we're looking at. I could probably look at the sprocket holes to see if that's going to be an issue. The next two, I don't think it's going to be an issue. It's found 6. It says 1 of 6. So we know that it's going to find them correctly. Let's go back to Lightroom here. Now what's cool thing here is here you can kind of change the tone color. Oh, here's a cool shot. Well, we barely got that black line, which is great. I like the black line. I don't know, it just gives me a sense of the whole complete thing there. So what I would do then at the end is go over them really good. And since it's archival purposes, I'm not worried about making them perfect, but maybe I'll find something that I really like a lot, and then I can kind of do better. Well, that's a cool shot. People a little bit out of focus, but that's okay. It's still a neat shot. I'm gonna miss the black edge right there. So that's the problem sometimes when you don't move it. But yeah, so we're missing some of it. That's a shame, but you know, we can. So since there's no black edge, I think this is the people from the bus. That's not going to work very well. Okay, so now let's go back here and let's check that one. See the next one that we have. I'm guessing this was shot on some form of a Nikon camera or Olympus. Those are usually the cameras I had growing up. So I don't know exactly which one it was though. Which 35mm camera. Maybe I'll go over some of the other cameras I have. Okay, kind of wiped it down a little bit. That one in there. This time I think I'm going to do an overview. Give a better result. want to make sure that I get the all the places where the frames are. Okay, let's add selection there. It's going to scan the first one. Let's put this over here like this. See what we get with this first scan. Okay, so it looks like it's in the right position now. Let's see if we bring down the by 1. Let's just see what that looks like. So I lowered the exposure by 1. And that's just this on this image. Okay, well, I don't see any difference when I lowered the exposure, so maybe that's not set to the pre-scan, but let's just see what happens when I batch scan these, okay? Export that. Go back to Lightroom. Doing some yard work there in front of their house. Okay, let's see here. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if there was any difference when I lowered that exposure, but this is a pretty cool shot though. So lower that exposure there. Okay, cool shot. Someone just walking to work, probably. There you go, cool shot there. Someone waiting for the bus. Let's try going like this. Okay. Yeah, so when you do the overview, it's going to give you a much better result as far as making sure all those negatives are in the right spot. You can just do the fast batch span without doing an overview, but that overview seems to help out a lot. Okay, now this one, we're going to go back over into the library, and we're going to go see what we got there. So this is the fastest way. Oh wow, what a cool shot there. Don't know what's going on, but let's see, one more shot here. Of course, I'd probably fine tune them a lot more, but this is like a fast one. I'm going over them just a little bit. As it's scanning, I'm fixing them up a little bit. But what happens as soon as it's fixed up, another one comes along. Okay, you're going to put this one back. And I'm going to use my fiber microcloth here. Maybe you guys got some good techniques you guys can tell me about. Maybe you know Silverfast. I also use the older scanner one that came with Nikon. Forget what the version was, but it stopped getting supported. So I don't even know if that a while ago, with as the operating systems were updated on the Mac, it wasn't supported anymore. So okay, so now I'm just making sure it's in the right spot. I might have, and there might be something so that I don't have to do this, because this does take up time after a while. I don't know why it's like not in the right spot and I have to move it over so much. It seems pretty extreme. So maybe I'll reach out to Silverfast and ask them. Okay, let's add the selection. They're all over in here. It's going to scan the first one. I don't know how to turn that scanner off. It just, I don't know. I don't know how to turn that scanner off. Let's export them right here. We'll see what we got in Lightroom as they're coming. This is so far what we have. We got some really cool shots in here. I mean, this is like some old photos. Let's see, here we go. Here's the first one. Looks like a, I don't know actually. Someone for school or work, or maybe even someone proselytizing. I don't know, because I see a little name tag there. Pretty cool, whatever that shot is. They're out of focus, but someone's chilling over there. Oh wow, look at this shot. Don't know what this is for, but you try them out. That DMX there shot is probably a good indication of what this error is, possibly. What year this could possibly be. Oh wow, they're selling newspapers. There you go. That gives you an idea of what era this is. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, selling newspapers? Or I don't know, it looks like that, yeah. Wow. Yeah, looks like a paper boy of some kind. What year is that? I'll have to see. Huh, is that in the Inquirer, I'm wondering? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, that's the newsstand. And we got Nancy's newsstand, huh? And we got one more coming here, I think. And that will complete it for this one right there. Pretty cool. Okay, so that's